Like one of my first games after being traded to Seattle, I was excited for a new journey, but at the same token, I was nervous because I'm replacing Gary Payton.
Hey guys, this is Dominique Wilkins.
Hey, this is Sean Kemp.
This is Gary Payton.
Hey, this is Pau Gasol.
NBA fans, what's up? This is Vince Carter here.
Hey, what's up? This is Matt Barnes. If you're an old school NBA fan like I am, make sure you check out the Basketball Time Machine with my man Sean David.
Hey folks, how's it going? Welcome back to your hopefully favorite NBA show, the Basketball Time Machine. My name is Sean David. Welcome you guys. In today's episode, I want to take a look at NBA legends talking about Ray Allen, a player that I hardly covered on my show, and I think it was about time. But before we start with that, let me ask you guys for a small favor. Please subscribe to the channel and like the video if you enjoy the content. All right, let's go. So the first player's opinion that I want to take a look at is from Grant Hill, who obviously played many times against Ray Allen in the 1990s, especially when Ray Allen was still playing for the Milwaukee Bucks and Grant Hill was still playing for the Detroit Pistons. Let's take a look.
First time I met Ray Allen, I was a counselor at a camp, and he was in high school. He was a rising senior, and I was in college. He was a military brat. So he grew up jumping around from, Army base to Army base. So he knew how to cut hair. And I needed a haircut, so he cut my hair at the camp. So I knew him as a barber first. But of course, followed him in college and then in the NBA. And he was known as a shooter and one of the greatest shooters in the history of the NBA. But I remember Ray in Milwaukee, in Seattle, dunking on you, taking it to the hole.
Here comes Allen. Allen throws it down.
Mid-range game, like just a complete offensive force, who also had a pretty sweet three-point shot as well.
Allen hits a three. Unbelievable Ray.
Ray was a fantastic player right out of the gate.
I'm officially ready to play this game.
He could handle the ball, he could shoot the ball, he was athletic.
Here's Allen on the move down the lane and a goal.
Terrific in transition, but his shooting was his hallmark, even though he was much more than a shooter. His shooting is what struck fear in the opponents. I mean, he's just one of those guys that can knock down 5, 6, 7 threes in a row.
Ray Allen spotting up for three.
In a lot of different ways, coming off screens with the ball or coming off screens without the ball. His presence just made other players on the team better.
And here come the Bucks again. Ray Allen spotting up for three. Bang! 19 consecutive points for Ray Allen.
And he developed a habit of hitting shots when they were needed the most.
Game winner by Ray Allen.
Is Ray Allen's shot the single most exhilarating moment you've experienced on a basketball court?
For us, we always say it's the greatest shot of all time. At that time, people were starting to do that, but Ray and Reggie really made it a thing back then. But Ray wanted to be able, as he explained it, he wanted to be able to backpedal, and not have to look at his feet to know whether he was inbounds but still behind the line. And he used to do it from the corners. And it was so fitting that was the shot that would force the game to go into overtime.
Now the next player's opinion that I want to take a look at is from Steve Smith, who also was one of the greatest shooters of the 1990s and early 2000s, a player that hardly anybody speaks about, but he obviously also played many times against Ray Allen. Let's take a look.
Arguably, like you said, one of the greatest shooters of all time, and obviously his record was broken recently by Steph Curry, but I think people forget that Ray Allen was more than just a shooter. I remember the Milwaukee, Seattle Ray Allen, very athletic, dunking on people, and then also being able to have the ability to step out the three-point line and hit clutch shots, obviously, for Boston, Miami. One of those guys that was a technician, obviously understood his work ethic, dedication, and he was disciplined and wanted all the details, all the I's dotted before he came on the court.
James catches, puts up a three. Won't go.
With the championship at stake, he delivered one of the most memorable moments in basketball history.
Ray caught the basketball, his feet were set, his heels were already up, and he just let it fly.
Ray Allen has reached the corner. Bang! Allen from downtown.
That was the biggest shot in the history of this franchise. And Ray Allen owns that shot.
Allen averaged more than 20 points a game in 10 straight seasons. Was a 2-time NBA champion, a 10-time All-Star, an Olympic gold medalist, and a man driven by the pursuit of perfection.
Everybody talks about Ray in the context that he was strictly a shooter. But he was one of the great players in history of the game.
Why are we getting all these Tracy?
Hey, man, y'all acting like this ain't T-Mac show, man.
Hey, man. Come on, man. Hey, man. This is out here making...
That's okay. I had 42 and we won that game. I just respect that you tried to go block it, Mac. Most people would get out of the way. Man, I'm trying to win, bro. That's right.
Amen.
People forget how good he was
before
he was with Miami and Boston, because he turned into just a jump shooter by circumstances.
Right.
But when he was with Seattle and Milwaukee, man, this dude did everything, man. Shooting, coming off the dribble shooting, making plays. He did all of that.
So I wanted to talk to you about that, man, because you had to guard him a lot.
I did.
Right. And so, again, like you said, some of the younger fans, they don't remember Ray Allen with the handle, Ray Allen with the bounce.
Yeah. Hey, man, y'all, hey.
Now, y'all can't keep showing out. Hold on now. There's other highlights.
Who's running this show, man? Dunk. Let's show him doing something else.
Yeah. But what was that like as far as trying to guard someone who you know is an elite shooter, but also he's not just a one-dimensional shooter. He could put on the floor.
But see, he was a guy that can score in a variety of ways. You think about somebody that's in great condition, like a guy like Rip Hamilton, Ray Allen, and Reggie Miller. Like, these guys are non-stop movement.
Right.
But what he had on them was he had the off the dribble game. He had the athleticism. He had the playmaking ability, and he never got tired. And he was clutch.
Yeah.
Toughest opponents throughout your career?
Toughest opponents, man. The toughest guys that were for me to guard were guys like Ray Allen, Reggie Miller,
that moved a lot.
Rip Hamilton. It was too much for me, man. Chasing off them picks, they never stopped moving.
I hated it.
See, people, man, listen, that is because look, you gotta spend so much energy defensively. It take away your offense because you chasing the whole game. That's the hardest part.
Well, I first saw Ray on the Nike circuit and the basketball circuit where kids play in the summer AU program. And he was playing for a guy named Tony Squires, and I still remember the first time I saw him. It's an incredibly talented athlete. Not a shooter yet, but an incredibly talented athlete. As a matter of fact, I saw him get 62 points against Riverside Church, one of the famous AU programs in the country. And I said, boy, I'd like to have that guy. I used to talk about shooting. I said, Ray, how many shots you take today? He said, never more than 200. Because every shot, all 200, have to be true game pressure, game shots, which is unusual if you think about it. But that's who he was.
Ray Allen for the game. Got it at the buzzer.
Ray's curiosity about the world, about basketball, about learning, almost unmatched by any person I've ever been around. Great talent, great mind, and incredible focus.
That's all I ever wanted to do was dunk on somebody. We had no business winning this game. Kobe Bryant had 61 points in 3 quarters. I was like, what?
A magnificent move by Ray Allen. Holy cow. Ray Allen going deep for the win. Game winner by Ray Allen.
Oh, yeah, this one, every time I think about this game winner against the Suns, it always reminds me of how that night I had, I think, 41 or 42, and I had a lot in the fourth quarter. And everybody, we were sitting on the back of the bus getting ready to go back to the hotel, and guys were like, man, you were killing it out there tonight. Like, it was awesome. And then my other teammate, one of my teammates goes, yo, Kobe Bryant has 61 points in 3 quarters. I was like, what?
The second greatest performance in NBA history. And an 81-point game. 55 in the second half.
I was like, leave it up to Kobe to outdo me on a night like this. And that was the night he had 81.
Sherman Douglas with the bullet pass to Ray Allen. Shaking on the line.
This is one of my favorite dunks because I made it look so simple when I went to the hole and I reversed at the baseline. And I just contorted my body. And when I ran down the floor, nobody really knew who I was.
You know, back in the 1990s, I was a huge fan of Ray Allen. Why? I loved the Milwaukee Bucks when they still had Glenn Big Dog Robinson and a prime Vin Baker. I think they had a nice chemistry going on. Okay, you guys, that was it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and hopefully I'll see you next time on the Basketball Time Machine.